Hi, and welcome to our art journaling day with me. And today we're going to make a very fun page. So, this is one of my favorites. Well, you know what? Everything is my favorite. I'm using soft gel and this cut file that you can find on iHeartStudio in the full bundle. If you buy the full bundle, you get 2 exclusive videos with it, so it's nice. So I'm just using a little bit of spray adhesive, spraying the back of this cut file, and now I'm just going to place it and use it as a stencil. You can use any stencil that you want to here. I'm just going to place the stencil, one on the left, one on the right, and now I'm going to use soft gel and just spread it over my stencil. So this will create a tiny bit of a resist. It didn't work as well with the inks that I'm going to use, but the effect in the end was still rather pretty. I hope you like it too. So just spread it really thin and then let it dry completely before you carry on. So you won't be able to see how it looks. Well, maybe you can see a tiny bit, but you can see the leaves. Not super well, but because it's rather white. But yeah, I think you get the idea. So once it's dry, we are going to be playing with inks. So I bought these Winsor & Newton inks from Michaels, and I'm going to be using the pinks, the yellows, and the oranges on it. And this is really fun to do. So inks are very vibrant colors, and you can actually, I do sometimes wet my brush with a tiny bit of water, like you can see there. So you can use it as watercolors, but it's way more direct. So whatever you put on the page will dry instantly. It's not as forgiving as watercolors, but I still love to work with it. So I'm working with yellow, cleaning my brush, then I'm taking a different color, maybe a little bit of orange. And you can see I'm not super careful. I'm not overly concerned about where what goes. Just going with the flow here, using a big round brush. So you can see how the gel is resisting the inks a little bit, and they are shining through, So now I'm just using a big brush, just blending everything together. A little bit more pink. And a tiny bit of red paint splatters. Well, it's actually not pink, it's red. But when you dilute it a tiny bit, it looks like pink. So I'm using a paper towel, just clean the leaves up a tiny bit more, just to keep, because I really want them to show, right? And so let this dry, and then we're going to be playing with some more media on it. Okay, so I'm using a big brush, and I'm going to use a tiny bit of gesso, and I'm just going to clean up the inside a tiny bit more to make room for writing. And I love gesso, and I love the fact that it's not so opaque. So it's a little bit transparent, a little bit more transparent than white acrylic paint, for instance. Just putting newsprint underneath the book, because obviously I'm going to do something now that's going to make a mess. And I think it's going to be paint splatters, yeah. So purple paint splatters or brown. Can't really see what color I used. I think it was brown. But this technique has been on my table for the last month or so. I just love using those tiny little paint splatters. And now I've just added a image, one of the flowers from my full bundle. And now I'm just going to stamp with the triangle stamp, roller stamp. And I'm going to add some words as well with the 7 Gypsy stamp. And you can find the stamp on scrapbook.com in the related products below on my blog. I'm going to add some phrases, and these are a wonderful little book by Tim Holtz that has just all these word phrases in a typewriter font, which is lovely to add to your project. So I'm adding it here on both sides of my page. I'm just using the white ones, the white words. There's some black background with white written on top of it, but these are the white background ones. And they're really very meaningful little phrases, so I like them a lot. And lastly, I'm just going to stamp with that 7 Gypsy stamp that I was talking about earlier, and I'm just going to go around the edge and stamp here and there. So you can't really see the words, but it gives that beautiful textured effect. And there you go, the page is done. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be back on the web soon. Bye bye.